Welcome to a tutorial on adult education data in Virginia from program year 2017-2018. Let's start by looking at participant demographics. Let's look at enrollment by program type. 32% of participants in program year 2017-18 were served in adult basic education programs. 9% were served in adult secondary education programs. 44% were served in English as a second language program, and 15% in integrated English literacy and civics education programs. ESL and the integrated English literacy and civics education program combined total was 59%. Total statewide enrollment was 18,096 participants. This slide shows us enrollment by age. 5% of participants in program year 2017-18 were ages 16 to 18 at intake. 19% were ages 19 to 24. 54%, our largest group, were ages 25 to 44. 14% were ages 45 to 54. 4% were ages 55 to 59. And 4% were age 60 and over. Enrollment in 2016-17 was 19,208, so our current enrollment of 18,096 represents nearly a 6% decrease in enrollment year over year. This slide shows us enrollment by ethnicity and race. 13% of participants in program year 2017-18 identified themselves as Asian. 21% identified themselves as Black or African American, 40% identified as Hispanic or Latino, 24% identified as white, and 2% identified another ethnicity or race. The other category includes American Indian and Alaskan Native, Pacific Islanders, Native Hawaiians, and 2 or more races. This slide shows enrollment by employment status at intake. Nearly 51% of participants reported in program year 2017-18 that they were employed at intake, and this includes a small number of whom were facing military separation or a known job layoff, that tiny, less than 1% sliver at the bottom. Nearly 26% reported that they were out of the workforce. Nearly 10% reported that they were unemployed less than 27 weeks, and just over 13% reported that they were unemployed 27 weeks or more. This slide shows us employment by top industries. The industry categories shown are those in which adult education student records from the program year 2017-18 were matched by the Virginia Employment Commission. The industry category with the highest percentage of employed students, 22%, is the accommodation and food services industry. There were 17,312 student records of participants and non-participants, those students with less than 12 hours, that were positively matched for employer and wage records between July 1, 2017 and June 30th, 2018 by the Virginia Employment Commission. Now let's look at the 2017-2018 performance. This slide shows us the trends of Virginia GED data from 2014 to 2017. In 2017-2018, there were 8,693 test takers, 5,294 completers, and 4,191 passers. Virginia's pass rate has matched or exceeded the national pass rate for the past 4 years. The National External Diploma Program is an option that is offered in 11 sites across the Commonwealth, 3 of which were new in 2017-18. Last year, 60 individuals completed this competency-based program. These are the common performance measures across all core partners in the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. The slide shows which of the measures are being collected for Title II, Adult Education. As you can see, all but measurable skill gains are considered baseline measures. Measurable skill gains, however, is a target negotiated between the state office and the federal office in the Department of Education. Last year, in 2016-17, we did not meet our negotiated target, reporting a 40.4% MSG. This year, the target was set even higher at 43%. So let's look at enrollment by EFL. Adult education enrollment in program year 2017-18 is reported on this slide by Educational Functioning Level, or EFL, as a percentage of the total statewide enrollment of 18,096 students. The EFL with the highest enrollment is ABE Level 3 with 16% of the total. On this slide, you can see adult education measurable skill gain, or MSG, attainment in program year 2017-18 reported by Educational Functioning Level. The red horizontal line at 43% represents the negotiated statewide target for 2017-18, which was published in the Combined State Plan for the Commonwealth of Virginia. The EFL with the highest MSG attainment rate, 53%, is ESL Level 3. And now for the good news. Overall, Virginia attained an MSG rate of 43%, meeting our negotiated target. So thanks to everyone who helped make this happen. This slide shows us MSG attainment rate for post-tested students. So you can see that the universe, N, is lower. 10,407 students were post-tested in 2017-18. This slide shows us adult education, MSG attainment, reported by Educational Functioning Level for students with a valid pre- and post-test in 2017-18. The EFL with the highest rate of gain, 87%, is ESL Level 2. The statewide post-test rate was 57.5. Now let's talk about performance by age group. MSG attainment by age category in program year 2017-18 is reported for each category. The red horizontal line at 43% represents the negotiated statewide target. The age category with the highest MSG attainment rate, 45.29%, is the 60-plus category. You'll remember from earlier in the tutorial that our largest age category by enrollment was the 25 to 44-year-old category. This slide shows us performance by ethnicity and race. MSG attainment by ethnicity race in program year 2017-18 is reported for each category. The red horizontal line, again at 43%, represents the negotiated statewide target. The ethnicity race category with the highest MSG attainment rate, 47.6%, is Asian. You'll remember from an earlier slide that our largest enrollment category is Hispanic Latino. WIOA defines 13 categories of barriers to employment, shown on this slide. Note the category of English language learners, individuals who have low levels of literacy, and individuals facing substantial cultural barriers, that's a mouthful, represents all participants in the AFLA Title II program, so we do not disaggregate for this category. That's just everyone we report. This slide shows us performance by those barrier status categories. MSG attainment is reported by self-reported employment barrier in program year 2017-18 for each employment barrier category, and you can see that we had 9,020 students checking one or more of these categories on their ASPD. The red horizontal line at 43% represents the negotiated statewide target. The employment barrier with the highest MSG attainment rate, 42.39%, is students who self-identified as low income. Thank you for listening to the tutorial, and thanks to everyone who participated in adult education last year in Virginia. It took teachers, program managers, staff, and especially the students to make it happen. Congratulations to everyone.